Hi everyone, today we're putting two IDEs to the test, Windsurf and Cursor, to see who comes up on top. Basically, these are the best IDEs right now in order to develop apps for iOS, Android and web in React Native. Basically, what we're going to do is that we're going to create a game, one game on both these IDEs and see which one is the best. We're going to create a memory game. You know that game whereby you select a square and you have to remember what pattern was on the previous square. And so that's the game that we're going to create. Basically, we're going to have three criteria that we're going to use to judge these two IDEs. The first one is speed, how fast you can build this game. Second one is accuracy, how close to the description is the code in the game. Third one is the style, how clean is the design, and also how clean is the code. Can we read the code which comes out? This is going to be very interesting and you're gonna find out some really nice things here. So basically it's one game, two IDEs, one prompt. Let's see who comes out on top. So we're going to create the Expo app. We're going to call it Memory Windsurf, and then we're going to call the other one Memory Cursor. So I think that makes it easy to identify which one is which. So here I'm just installing the Expo app using the Expo Create app extension. And then we're just going to say go to that website or the app. I have this Cursor extension or Windsurf extension or command, if I can say Windsurf dot, and then it'll just open Windsurf. So this is currently Windsurf. If you don't know Windsurf, Windsurf is an IDE. Basically, it's a fork of Visual Studio Code. They just forked it and then or made a copy of it and then added some AI optimizations and also some UI as well, so that it works best for AI and working best as an agent, so that they can do the code for you. So what I've just done now is just to npx export start dash web, just to open up the apps and the default template for Expo. And then what I'm doing now, I'm creating the prompt. Basically, I'm asking it to create the memory game. You can actually read the full description that I wrote there. Basically, just flip two cards at the same time. You're trying to find a match or matching pairs. So that's what I gave the AI. Let's see now what's going to do. Automatically with Windsurf and its cascade ability, it can change code throughout your IDE. So even codes that you haven't yet told it to change, it's intelligent enough to know that, okay, I can actually change that code. So currently now it's what it does first is normally to analyze the package.json and also looks at the existing code base to see what tag it's using, and then from there it will know where to insert itself or where to insert the changes. Currently it's actually creating a new component called a memory game, and then that component, it's adding all the functionality within that component. And it's going to, because it already knows our package.json, knows what packages that we have installed. So you can just web from that, and it knows the structure of our code base. I haven't told it to delete anything or to move anything. It's going to do everything by itself. And it's currently using Claude 3.7. And to be honest, like here, what we're actually doing here is, to be honest, we're actually comparing Claude on both Cursor and Windsurf, because they're both using the same like LLM. But with these IDEs or LLM IDEs, so they have some optimization on these models to make them perform better for their platform. So it is an equal game, so it's not like we're cheating each of them. So it's done with creating the game. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to try and start the game and see what's going to happen. So automatically it doesn't know that I already have the React Web instance running. So I'm just gonna go to the terminal and press R, and then automatically there I can actually see that it created the app itself, and the app is actually running on a different tab. But when I press on it, I got this error. So I'm getting this error. So now it's basically because it's using React Native, it's using some haptics. I'm just gonna put that error back to Cursor to see what's gonna happen. No, I mean Windsurf. Sorry. Yeah. So, but it recognizes that the haptics mobile like module is not available on web, because we want this app to run on web, iOS, and Android. So it recognizes that the module is not there. So, and then what's happening now is that it's gonna do corrections, or and then exclude that module from running if you are on web. I think for this one, I can give it, because we talked about speed. It took around 6 minutes for the for Windsurf to create this app. So and then from 6 minutes, and then we also had to now run another prompt, a second prompt. It was not a single prompt to create the full working game. So now, so it's almost two prompts and 6 minutes. So in terms of speed, and also I'm just going over the criteria. So accuracy, right now I'm just testing the accuracy, and you can see that I believe it's working as planned, because I can actually do the memory games, and it's gonna tell me the ones I've got correctly. Uh, So I'm gonna try Android now to see how does it work on Android. Just gonna, if you're using React Native with Expo, you can just press A, because we're using Expo Go here, so you can just literally use the reload the Expo Go app. I'm just gonna start it up again. Oh yeah. So what's happening is that, like, the cascade is still running the server, and also I'm trying to run the server from the terminal, so it's actually confused. So I'm just gonna start it from the terminal and then see how the app goes. So this, yeah, so cool. So this is how it looks on Android. It's exactly what I wanted. The memory games, I have to remember where the ball was, or where the star, or the fire, or the moon. Uh, so this is exactly what I want. So in terms of accuracy, I'd say the accuracy is there. It's 100%. So for speed, it was 6 minutes. And then for accuracy, I'd say it was pretty accurate, and it's pretty much what I wanted from the IDE, and the game's pretty much the game that I wanted. So it wins in accuracy. And then the style, now the style is a bit subjective, but for me, I find this to be beautiful. There are some UI things. For example, the reset button is on top of that. Maybe it might lose 1 point in terms of that alone, but I think it's good. I like the way that you can choose the the difficulty levels, and the difficult levels are also styled nicely with those different colors. And for me, I find this is exactly what I wanted. You can see, you can actually play the game, and you can, yeah, you can actually get the score. One thing which I can criticize here already, if you restart the app or you do something, the score is not persisted on the state. So that might be 1 point. That might be a deduction to the point when it comes to accuracy. I'm gonna try and tally up the the score at the end. But basically, I think I'm happy with the outcome so far. So it was this app worked on iOS, web, and Android, and we did it with two prompts. Basically, it's one prompt, but another prompt to fix an error. But basically, it's one prompt, if we're all honest. and the memory game is working nicely. You can actually use this uh or even on production. Basically, after analyzing the code, I did check the code quality afterwards, and it's because it's a simple game, so the code quality was quite good. I know there's like when it comes to those co- complicated apps, the code quality drops when you're using these AI tools, but here it was quite good. It's something that I would write myself. Um, yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is that I'm gonna try this game out on Cursor. We're gonna ask Cursor the same prompt, and we're gonna ask it to build the same game. Let's see how it goes. Basically, we're gonna use the same command as well to create the Cursor memory game. Same create expo app, basically, and then after that, want to do the same test as we did with Windsurf, but then we're gonna be doing it in Cursor now. So we're done. I'm just opening up Cursor. This is Cursor. So I'm just gonna open up the IDEs just to see if the basic app works. And already I'm getting problems with iOS. Let me try. I tried to like npx install and then open up iOS. Let's try with Android. Android is working, but iOS is not working for some reason on Cursor. There must be some configuration that I did or which I need to set up with my simulator for iOS. Let's try web to see if the web version works. And we see that the web is working well and Android is working well. So we just have the problem with iOS on Cursor. I wonder why. On Cursor, we are going to use Composer. Composer is equivalent to Cascade in Windsurf. So Cursor is more of like an agent. I'm going to select the same LLM, Claude 3.7, so similar to what we did on Windsurf. So that gives us similar results. Basically, Cursor is like an agentic flow. It will do a similar flow, or in theory, it should do similar to Windsurf. Basically, it will look at the directory of our project and will be able to say that we're using a React Native project as it does with Expo. And then it's going to be able to kind of like build up the app, and we can see that it shows to add a new tab for the memory game, similar with what we had in Windsurf. It'll be very interesting to see the game which comes out of Cursor to see if is the same. Is this gonna be the same game, identical? Because it's using the same model. Are we gonna have the same colors? Are we gonna have the same styling? Are we just playing around here because we're just comparing the same model? It's gonna be all 3 years soon. It shouldn't be because Cursor works hard and Windsurf works hard to have the best agentic flow within their IDE. So I'm not expecting the same outcome. And already we can see that they're using cons card symbols and they're using emojis, which is something that Windsurf didn't. And but then in terms of the structure of how everything is working so far, it's looking like it's similar to Windsurf, as in they chose to add a new tab for the memory game, and also they chose to call it memory game as well. 100% the same words, but we can see that the logic is slightly different that we're getting here in Cursor. I wonder, is it gonna be the best? Because I mean, the internet raves about Cursor, but we don't see the same love for Windsurf. So it'll be very interesting. One thing I noticed now is that like I'm getting these found links which type in, which is a different, which is a warning, but it just means that it's working hard to fix the TypeScript types as it's working along. And then what I saw with Windsurf is that it will fix the TypeScript errors at the end of like the actual full agentic flow. So that's something which is interesting to see. Yeah, so that means then like there's a regression, like whereby it's constantly checking itself for those errors while it's generating the code, which is quite cool. And so now one thing I'm also noticing is that like this is kind of like taking a little bit more time compared to Windsurf. So because already like the time on my timer, because I had a timer going, so we are already at like 6 minutes now, but the app is still going. So I'm just gonna speed up like from here to see how things go. I'm just gonna speed up the video. Cool. Yeah, it's actually took so long. It actually went to around 10 minutes. Um that is doing, but I'm trying the app out now. And so far, oh, I got the same error that I got in Windsurf. It's complaining about the haptics. So I'm just gonna copy the same error and paste it back so that it kind of excludes haptics from web and only use them on iOS and web. So the vibrations, we don't need them on web. So let's see how it will come out after I do that. So I guess I'll have to minus the point here for Cursor as well when it comes to the accuracy. But should have like seen that we're using regularly for web and almost did that exclusion automatically. Cool. Yeah, now that it's done, so let's see how it looks in terms of the app. Just gonna start the game. This is weird, hey? I'm pressing on one place and it's opening up the cards on different places. This is not what I'm expecting. This is literally so incorrect. And it's just almost randomized. What is this now? Literally, we're using the same model here to do the same task, the same memory game, and it's getting this wrong. And that's one thing about LLMs and AI is that there's a part of it which is almost like magic. It's just, yeah. So I've moved to the easy game, but it's also doing the same issue. And I feel like let me check on Android and see how it works on Android, because it might be like an issue with only maybe web. Let's see how it looks on Android. We know iOS is not working. Just gonna go easy, and even here you can see it's actually not doing what I wanted it to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna sort of like end it here because we can't be fixing the game. The whole point of this activities to have one prompt and almost see what will come out. So I'm just gonna save what we got. But one thing I can say here is that they did like the app did like require me to install async storage so that I can save the scores, which is something that Cursor didn't. So that's almost like a bonus point, I guess, on maybe accuracy. But yeah, let me just do like a final roundup of where we are. But the code itself, it looks good. Just there's an issue with the logic on Cursor. So let me just round out of our results here. So basically, we're looking at speed, accuracy, and the style. Basically, 2 points if it did well, 1 point if it did poorly but still finished the task, and 0 if it didn't do the task. And then when it comes to speed, Windsurf in this case won because it took 6 minutes to do the task, and then Cursor took about 10 minutes to finish the task. So Windsurf will get 2, and then Cursor will get 1. And then when it comes to accuracy, like does it actually do or work as expected? Cursor failed in this case, and I'm sure you guys saw. So unfortunately, Cursor will get 0 for accuracy, while Windsurf did work and it worked well. But then there was also that issue of it not syncing or saving the history or the scores into storage. Whenever you start again, it resets, so they'll get 1. So accuracy, they get 1, and then Windsurf gets 1, Cursor gets 0. And then when it came to style, The styles were, I mean, you're the judge for this. I do think like that Cursor's style were a bit nicer, but Windsurf's were more dynamic. So I think both of them will get a point for style. But they're gonna get 1-1 because I don't think any of them were the best styles out there. So we still need designers. So in summary, for this test, Windsurf won. Doesn't mean that Windsurf is better than Cursor. On some tasks, it might be. On some tasks, Windsurf, Cursor might do it better. But in my testing and my current flow, Windsurf worked best. Thank you. If you like what you saw here, please like this video. And if you have your own thoughts as well, you've done your own experiments, please leave them in the comment section. I'd like to know what you're thinking. And also don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Cheers, y'all.